live
Wait.
from Space Coast, Florida. Kind of. In the ether world of Space Coast. Two guys bringing you the best we can, despite critique
and technical difficulty.
July 29th. Sorry, we were a little bit late. Had some issues with chat. Had to delete an app. Well, it could be a beta compatibility with the iPad OS Beta 15, which I'm currently running, but who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But we got music. And we don't demand your undivided attention. We would just like you to participate. If you can.
Chilling, hanging out.
Yeah. A little different show tonight. Going a little bit more cars. A couple things we want to talk about. My voice is still shot. I'm here for you. Whoever you is.
Aww.
Right? All right.
Yes.
I'm going to say 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah.
Why? Ask why. Bud Dry. Old beer.
Wow, the memories.
Yeah, the memories. Let's go with the big old 10 seconds. Why not?
10.
X5. It's a countdown. 3,
Treat.
2, 1.
No.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? Mike and Corey back again. Not Your Average show. Not the below average show either. Sorry.
Yes. So we've been informed.
We've been informed we're below average by a commenter, but hey, no harm, no foul. We got.
But that's what the internet's for.
That's critique. We get critique. Is what it is. Take it as it comes. We're doing our best.
Yep.
Well, we're not doing our best. We're doing what we can to enjoy the conversation. How are you, Corey?
Doing well, Mike. How's it going, man?
Yeah, average day. Just another day.
Just an average day.
Just another day in paradise, my friend. My God. And now I just got a frog in my throat. Love it. Hold on.
It's all good. It's all good.
That's right. There's nobody in chat. There's nobody watching yet, so I can cough as much as I want.
Yeah, for now. We'll throw out a yawn. Ooh. Cool.
Yeah, it's late. It's
Yeah. We'll chat and see how it goes. But yeah,
it's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast here. Late for us, later than we prefer to be, but here we are. We got a lot to talk to you guys about. So last night we had Todd Newton join in chat, and he pointed us at basically a Porsche design E-van that looks like something from the future. Looks pretty cool.
Not nobody.
Hey, well, you know what?
He's in chat.
He's in chat. Hey, man, it's showing me nobody's there. So I just said no viewers.
Well,
there you go.
YouTube numbers. Yeah, they lie half the time.
There you go. They do. So there we go. We got Porsche electric van that came from Todd Newton last night. We're going to take a look at it because it looks cool. Also, he pointed us towards a great website. And what is this? The website that I'm going to poke around here. It's called New Atlas. And we just kind of cool. There's a lot there. Something worth looking at. Also, we're going to be looking at an EV startup in Germany that decided to take the Audi Quattro design of old and make it basically what the e-tron should have been. Take that, Audi. Because it's
super cool.
It's called the ELegend, and it's actually gorgeous. And then lastly, Volocopter brings their stuff to Oshkosh to the big fly-in, and they get one of their little Volocopters flying, and we got a video of it 4 minutes long, and we're gonna diagnose it. That's gonna be an open conversation because Corey already got his keen sense of vision on it, and he pointed out a couple of things that I thought was really interesting. So we're gonna take a look at that. How are you, Corey?
I'm doing well. Yep, doing okay. Shall I kick it off?
Sure. Let's make it like Sunday Night Football, and you can kick this thing off. How's that?
I'm kicking off. Here we go.
Here you go.
Going over to New Atlas, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go, New Atlas.
This one is Porsche's electric van cabin. Looks to the day after tomorrow. So basically, that's just the title. But anyway, the idea here is it's a Porsche concept. It appears that Porsche was a bit bored in 2020 with no auto shows to go to and do anything with. So they pulled out some old concepts, and this one here is a remake of their old VWT1 Porsche, the race factory race van, service van for their teams.
Pretty cool.
It's and I know I'm gonna mess it up, but the Renndienst concept. Basically, it's the same same name, just a new concept of the van. This one basically looks it's a bit cool because it's got a 1, 2, 3 seating configuration. So basically, there's one driver in the front, and he sits in the middle, and then there's 2 captain's chairs in the mid, and then in the back just kind of a bench with three kind of seats in the back. The idea behind it says that it was supposed to be futuristic and edgeless, and then point to kind of the day after tomorrow kind of design. So something a bit new, something a bit visionary. One thing I thought was kind of interesting, Mike and I chatted about it already a little bit, was the cockpit, well, I guess the driver's position, as he says there. It's just one seat, right?
Yep.
But they're designing the concept that it could be fully autonomous if it came to be, and that the I guess I'll say driver or passenger, but the driver, the person in the front, that the seat turns all the way around so that you can chat with the passengers in the back, because autonomy and all that. So that's kind of cool. Again, if we can. Again, as concept cars go.
Pretty.
And then I guess the other thing is you got the haptic buttons in the front, so just a bit more cutting edge in the front. But what do you think, man?
Hey, man, I think it's another way to re-platform the Buzz ID, which is the Volkswagen version, basically, of this vehicle, right? The platform, and it looks great. We talked about it a couple months ago when they actually said, "Hey, this is actually going to happen." That's nice to know, right? The Buzz. But as far as this thing goes, it's gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. As far as e-vans go, and as far as Porsche design, Porsche's got obviously some of the best designs out there. People do laud them for their ability to design things, right? And Porsche design, their team obviously did their homework because it's pretty sexy. Now, question: will we ever see it? Likely not.
Probably not. Yeah, I think it goes into the file of concept cars that have cool ideas that won't come to pass. So
right, but I mean, as far as this, hey, it's like almost like a McLaren not an SUV, a McLaren minivan, because your center seat position, which is very unique.
Yeah,
I mean that's nice, and if it had some performance. And if it ever made it to marketplace, I could see this as being possibly the first minivan that Porsche could have in their stable, which if that was what they were really testing the waters to see, if that was something that they could pipeline and something they could produce, maybe not too bad of a waste of time, because again, aesthetically, and I say this without any hesitation, it's flat out beautiful. I mean, the design is nice.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was a dated concept they decided to just pull out of the design book and just do because they had the time, or this is a test bed for technology that they're not talking about openly in articles such as this,
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, I kind of agree too. Yeah, it probably won't be a concept as it is now. I don't think we'll see this come to market, but maybe there's things they're using in it is to do other things. So, because I mean, there's no talk about range, there's no talk about speed, there's none of that. It's just
here's our concept.
So it's
And I mean, and look, it's obviously platformed, or could be very well platformed off of, like I said, the ID Buzz, which we know is something that they're looking forward to. And why not? And the way that the way that Porsche likes to re-platform between Audi, Porsche, Volkswagen, you got the Taycan Turbo, obviously have the e-tron, which runs on the same platform. You have other cars in their stable that share the same platform. So it would be the same vertical kind of, componentry system that they use in order to deliver more platforms, more cars off of a singular platform. So who knows?
Yeah.
Cool looking though.
Cool.
I don't know.
Part of me almost says I'd rather take the Buzz, but that's just me.
Really? What excites you?
Nostalgia-wise, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, look, the Buzz still has a range of about 600 kilometers or 337 or 373 miles. And it still has a lot going for it because it's got that under tray design, which it looks like this vehicle could have, because from the side view, okay, from the side view, when you look at the actual part where the doors are open, it seems to have the underpinnings. I'm just going to slide over to this picture right here, because it seems to have the underpinnings right here, where those doors are open, that big flat floor, that this is more than likely the same chassis. They just, rebodied it. Could be,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And if that's the case, maybe if they hopped up the engine or the motor on it a little bit, made it go a little faster. But I'm not sure about that center seat design when you're turning around and do one of these. Like, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm not driving. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Until the tech catches up to the ideas of that, and then the regulations, it's proven. I don't know.
Yeah.
The center seat thing might not work.
Nope, I agree. So, hey, well, let's see what happens.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. So, there's that. You want to take us home on that one?
Do I? I'll take it home, as you say. Yes. So, thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. As we usually say, it helps us out a lot. It helps the channel out a lot, and we appreciate the growth and the support. And remember to hit that bell down there, and you'll know when we go live too, and you can participate. So, thank you.
All right. Not to shame a brand, but to shame a brand. The Volkswagen Group, Porsche, Audi, which obviously has a large stable of cars with a great following, the Thing, the VW Bug, obviously the microbus, and if anybody remembers back in the day, the Audi Quattro itself, which was probably the most, and I say between that and maybe a handful of rally cars, probably one of the most sought after cars in both rallying and when it came out as the Audi Quattro on the actual road going version. All-wheel drive, turbocharged. This thing was horsepower. This thing was fun, and it is still lauded in the annals of, I guess, legendary cars, right? So someone decided to rebadge one, make it electric, and call it the ELegend. And just by taking a look at this thing, first off, this comes from Car and Driver. It's from way back in June, but there was stuff that I wanted to see progress with this, because being a huge fan of the Audi Quattro itself and the design and the way that this thing looks, it is stellar. I only have one complaint. The complaint that I have is that front bumper should be color coded without those little black side dabs going on the side where it's recessed. However, if you take a look at what this thing's got under the hood, it's got, first of all, it weighs in 3,704 pounds, which is pretty light for an EV. Got a range of 249 miles. Unfortunately, it doesn't make the magic 250, but for the money you're going to be paying for this car, you're not going to care, because it's got a 90 kilowatt hour battery, 805 horsepower. It's front and rear wheel drive. Goes 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.8 seconds, right? And on top of that, goes 0 to 124 in 10 seconds and tops out at 158 miles an hour. Basically putting it squarely as a competitor to Taycan Turbo and the Audi e-tron. There's one small issue with this, though. It's $1.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna be the thing I said. I said everything on this page I like. I kind of like this. And I don't want to pigeonhole it, but the kind of the cyberpunk feel of the car. It looks attractive. I like the design.
Yeah.
Obviously, design is subjective. If you don't like it, that's obviously it could be the case. But I mean, the car looks nice. The performance looks good. It's a continuation of kind of the Quattro heritage of all-wheel drive. Yeah, I like it. But then you go down and it's pretty much strictly European market, and then bam, 1.3 million. So it's like,
I mean, and I'm rolling the video right now from them showing the old Audi Quattro and just the ELegend as it stands in its own. Nice that they showed the old Lancia, which is pretty cool. And look, it's going to be interesting to see what they actually do with this thing. There's a lot of hype around it because they did pre-sell some of these things, which is great for them, right? They've got a lot of great pictures of this thing on their website. It is phenomenal. The interior speaks to absolutely how beautiful and clean a design can be in today's modern EV vehicles. This is bar none, performance orientated. You're getting top dollar for what you got. And this isn't vaporware because it exists.
Yeah,
so that's the other cool part. This is not something where you would be sitting around going, well, I wonder. No, it's not going to be I wonder. It exists. It's there. They've got this thing ready to rock, and they're taking orders. Please, someone give me $1.5 million so I can go out and buy this thing.
Yep, they say it does. It's capable of the 150 kilowatt fast charging system as well. Although I don't know if you said this already, but while it is quite expensive, they say they're only planning 30 units, so it's going to be pretty rare. It's going to be pretty rare. I'll look forward to the videos online of people experiencing it, and but yeah, I mean, that's going to be pretty rare to see one anywhere, probably.
So you're saying it's time for me to break out my Jeremy Clarkson's voice and say, some may say. So some of the attributes that they actually have on their website here, they talk about the 4-wheel drive powertrain here, the 600 kilowatts. There's the 0 to 100, which they're talking about kilometers, and 2.8 seconds, and the max speed of 255 kilometers. Obviously, this is all designed for the German marketplace. And it looks like it's got the full suite and accoutrement of safety design as well. A 3-way adjustable performance suspension, which is pretty amazing. Frunk and trunk, which they threw in there. So that's pretty cool. And as part of their technology, this is directly from their website. Again, 90 kilowatt battery. So, and again, the fast charging, Corey already mentioned. And now here's one that's interesting. Racetrack suitable, aimed at target 2 laps at the Nürburgring without derating. Okay. So that puts us in an exclusive conversation in and of itself, that if you could get this thing on the Nürburgring, and they're saying you're guaranteed 2 laps without this thing falling off in performance. Wow.
Yeah, just flat out for 2 laps. Yeah. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
that is pretty cool. So this is something here. I wish that I could just literally scroll down, leave my name, address, say that I'm not a robot, and pre-order the damn thing. But you know what? I'm shy on just about $1.5 million.
Just about the whole price.
That's just about the whole thing. So, but hey, man, it's gorgeous. We look forward to seeing more from these guys, because they do have a couple other things that I'm understanding. That Lancia that they showed early on is not a something that they're throwing out there. It's obviously something that they've got up their sleeve, and good for them. So hey, like, subscribe, follow, and we'll see what this thing can do in the real world. But this kind of puts Audi to shame, because their e-tron should have paid more homage to the Quattro, and anything that wears the Quattro name, sorry Audi, you kind of, somebody just kind of showed you your freaking lunch. So
I mean, yeah, it's arguably a different market because of that price tag.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know,
but yeah, still.
But
I mean, even just the design though, I mean,
that's pretty. Yeah. That's pretty. All right. So we had a comment there in chat that we've got to talk about here. So what do you guys think about the View Smart windows? And which one? The Porsche or the
Are you just talking about the brand View?
Okay, wait.
Smart windows? You're talking about the straight, like the brand View windows?
Let me take a look.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. Let's get some clarity in here.
I mean,
the
ones
appear... that automatically intelligently dim.
Yeah. It helps reduce basically energy consumption through heat, and also they can dim and stuff. And I mean,
so are these?
I guess for me it'd be like cost effectiveness, like install. How much do these things cost to put on a? I mean, a big building. I guess you could put them in your house, but aren't they? They're kind of talking more like industrial applications, right? For this kind of product,
right? So it looks like these let in more daylight, reduce glare, optimum comfort, and connection to the outdoors. So do these change their opacity like the ones that they do in the 787, where it actually turns around and there's a bonding layer between the front pane and the rear pane, and there's like a liquid crystal display that kind of just opaques this thing? Or what are we talking about here? Because I don't know enough about them, so please fill me in, David.
Well, just looking at, I'm just reading about it now too, but it looks like it's again electrochromatic coating inside the glass.
Look at that.
So it is. It's electrically actuated, or not actuated. Nothing moves like that, but electrically controlled.
Okay. Now I'm looking at it. So this makes more sense to me. Okay. Well, it depends on their pricing, honestly. I mean, what's the return on investment? So how many of these panels do you have to have in your building before you recoup what you're actually saving in say, potential solar absorption into your structure, and then you have to spend it on cooling during the summertime, right? Because in the winter, obviously, the solar absorption is going to be an asset, and in the summertime, obviously that's not going to be the best asset in the world. So I wonder exactly what they would be able to prove as far as product payoff, and how long would it take for you to install these at what price point to what you would actually get in return on investment.
Yeah, I wonder if it's things by volume. I just don't know enough about it to know that if it's how much you would have to buy by volume for to make sense. Actually, David in chat too, David Cummings, do you have experience with this product like in your workplace or something? Is that why you're asking, or?
Yeah, it would be nice to know. I don't know. That's the problem with chat. Chat lags back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give them a little bit.
Oh yeah,
yep, we'll get it.
I mean, so here's the thing with glass though. I mean, glass per square foot, depending on where you source it from, and double insulated and aluminum. And okay, I'll blow my own horn. I used to work in a glass factory. No shit. Used to put together aluminum windows. So I know a thing about double hung insulated glass and what you have to do in order to seal them and what that process is. And if you're putting an electromagnetic coating in there, is there a special productive version of this that they have to do? Does it have to go through a special process? And is the glass tempered? Is it not tempered? Does it need a little bit more care when you're actually putting this stuff in? Can these coatings be scratched during shipment? Can they make it on site before they assemble the windows? A lot of things that I would want to know about their processes and how they actually do it. And how they bond. Do they bond it at temperature? Do they bond it via vacuum? Do they bond it via adhesive? Because once you set up that chamber with these windows and they absorb that solar radiation, that chamber sometimes, as you can see in homes in Florida and the South, sometimes that gas that's in there, which is an inert gas in many cases, trapped in there, will leave and you'll get fogging. Okay, and that's something that's a little bit difficult to deal with. So there's my verbal diarrhea on Windows.
Well, yeah, we'll have to take a closer look at it.
Yeah, we'll have to take a closer look at it. So interesting though. Hey, send it. If this is the right company, let us know in chat, and we'll go ahead and we'll do a little bit more research on it and see what they actually have for a potential as future. Because obviously, big buildings in New York would love to save a little bit of money, but it's got to be a cost per square foot savings, and you got to go through all the math. So, there you go. Another question in chat was,
Yep.
What do you want to take that
Relativity Space. Yeah, as he said there, yeah, the ones 3D printing a whole bunch of their components, like most of the rockets 3D printed.
We've talked about it. I know you and I have talked about it. Have we?
I know we briefly had lately, David. No, we haven't talked about it lately. We can maybe do it on the next show. You want to, Mike? You want to just do a bit longer thing on relativity space?
Yeah, we can do that.
What do you want to do?
Yeah, Corey. No joke. Corey actually sent me a link to these guys about 2.5 months ago, and we spoke about it. And we're like, hey, the cost savings on 3D printed parts obviously has been ongoing now for the last couple of years as 3D printing has been more widely accepted in the industry. So and there's more that we need to do on it, but I'm not sure if we did a video on it or not. But we'll be more than happy to revisit that. So yeah, let's take a look at that one.
I think the same. I think we spoke about it, but not on stream.
Yeah. Corey, by the way, Corey and I talk about a lot of stuff on our chats. There's a lot more conversation that goes on before we go, oh, okay, well, he'll send me articles, I send stuff back and forth, and there you go. Okay, so now we go to the final thing of tonight, and then we'll open up to more chat if people want to talk about it, and that is basically our open discussion about obviously one of the brands that we have looked at here in the eVTOL world, that is Volocopter. Once again, Corey had his eye on something, and when he did, he said, hey, by the way, this thing flew. And I was like, get out of town. He's like, no, they took it to Oshkosh and they flew it. And I was like, really? He's like, oh, yeah, it actually went up. And I was like, is there a video? Sure as heck, there's a video from Oshkosh. And you can actually go to Volocopter's site and you can download the video, which is fantastic. That's nice of them to promote that for themselves. And so without further ado, and turn up your volume because this thing's a little difficult to hear. But here is the Volocopter in its premiere shot at flying. So let's see. Like the stream. I think Lilium is better. We know you do, but here's the funny part. We're trying to diagnose some things here, Corey. So why don't you give me off the top of your head what you saw when this thing was flying?
Yeah. So, this is for just 2 days ago. It flew at Oshkosh. I think they said it was a 14-minute flight or 18-minute flight. Yeah, 4-minute flight. Pardon me, 4-minute flight at 18 miles per hour max speed. So they're over at Oshkosh. They're flying at the airfield. There's an air show there. If you're not familiar with Oshkosh, there's a bunch of things going on there right now, and they took their device there. They've got looks like a factory test pod in there. They flew it under an experimental type certificate, and you can see the guys just flying it around. Looks like they certainly got fly-by-wire in the center of the aircraft there. One thing I did ask Mike too while I was watching was, I wonder what his left hand is doing. If it has some kind of collective or some other device, some other interface he's using over there, but it doesn't appear that's the case. So it was just kind of just something that it kind of struck me too. And as we get a bit closer through the video and he's getting towards the end, I'll point something out. But right now, as you're seeing him fly around, if you look at the multifunction display in the middle, that liquid crystal display in the middle, it's got standard kind of instruments on it.
I froze it.
HSI, things like that. But later, it appears to me that as he's coming to a hover here closer to the end of the video, it looks like you get a really big display that takes up most of that display that looks like temperature. And at first, Mike and I were just kind of speculating if it was maybe bearing or something else. Right. But then, for various reasons, it looks like as he's getting a bit closer to the ground and he's not changing his heading, and he's been hovering there a longer amount of time, the temperature, it looks like a temperature, it just continues to increase. So I'm wondering if it's like battery temperature, or if you're familiar with first limiter displays like in aircraft where you have multiple things you need to keep track of, but the avionics will tell you what's getting closest to its limit first.
Right.
I don't know, but it just looks like they're really being quite conscious of temperature of something.
Well, I mean, it's low-speed flight, so they can't be getting much. They can't be getting much cooling over whatever they think should be cooling. Number one,
exactly.
Okay, number two,
I guess that was.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No. I guess that was just as we're seeing something like this fly, and now it's something that appears to be the case. Okay, temperature. That is another question to keep in mind when you run this many electrical components, this many electrical motors through one pack or whatever, how many packs they have in here. They do have to cool that pack somehow, and it's going to get warm, especially if they're just a hover there. So that's another thing we haven't talked much about on the channel was
resistance. Once you start beating this air into resistance, it's going to fight back, and that's going to come back as heat in your motors. And unless you have another motor or another fan in the back of your cooling segment, which most major aircraft do in their avionics holds, they do have cooling fans to keep the electronics cooler, right? But that's a lot more heat being generated by the direct resistance of whatever voltage regulators you have in there to generate different speeds for each rotor in order to maintain the stability in flight. So there's a lot going on in this component right now. And the other part of it is he gets this other part right about here where he goes into this hover. And I'm not sure if he's doing stability checks by raising the nose or pushing the nose left or right and just kind of saying, hey, this is what this vehicle can do. But you can see that his feet are crossed. But he also goes up momentarily and uses the trim on the top of the hi-hat. And I'm not really sure if that's some sort of alternate control that he's got going on. But, well, it does demonstrate that it's got stability. It also shows me that it's very much still like a helicopter in that the fact that it's not dynamically as stable as one would hope. It's probably more stable, but it looks like it still has some little movement there to the left and to the right. Where the aircraft is actually responding to the wind around it, which was quite interesting, I thought. So just a couple of things to note there. But look, they have a different design scheme, right? They're going with what they think is worthwhile and their investment. But now we got to talk about the real world logistics of, is this thing still ready for prime time, right? Is it ready for prime time? Obviously not yet. I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm not sure. This, as the title says in the article, it's the first public crewed test that has been done. So we don't know what they've been doing on their own, of course. And the metrics of the flight: 18 miles per hour max top speed, 164 feet. I guess that's AGL. Maybe, I'm not quite sure. They didn't say, but anyway. And 4-minute flight. That doesn't show us a whole lot. It's similar to what we talked about in our last video yesterday, where we were just curious. I think it was Joby. Joby's doing their 150 mile flight, and it was interesting. It was certainly a milestone. Don't get me wrong, definitely something to see. But as a pilot, I just am curious on all the other factors that took place. Again, how hot was the day? Again, what was the max takeoff weight? How much payload was on board versus what they designed to have the payload on board? When the flight took place and then ended, what was the battery consumption? Was it on par with what they expect? Does it lend itself to meet its endurance specification, design specifications, just stuff like that? That's how kind of I see this stuff and I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'd like to know more. That's just kind of how I think about it. So I'm gonna say certainly, good job here to have it in such a public venue as AirVenture to have a successful thing to go,
Right.
have it go successfully, because it is one of those where if this hadn't gone successful, it would have been, of course, not good for anybody, the pilot and whatnot, but still, it would be a major blow to eVTOLs and then, of course, Volocopter as well. So it's still good, still a clap for them, right? It's good, but I'd just like to know more. That's just
Gotcha. Okay. So this is kind of funny because I didn't share this with Corey last night, but I found these guys last night too. But hey, thanks for watching, guys. We'll close this one out because someone else just chimed with another comment in there. We'll see how Volocopter progresses in their design, and like, subscribe, follow, ring the bell down below. So David just rang in with what do we think about Opener, the Opener eVTOL, which is actually AKA the Blackfly. So Blackfly is one that I only literally, David, I'm not going to lie, and I didn't get a chance to share it with Corey today because other things went on.
Yeah, I haven't, I don't know about
But the Blackfly is what they're considering the first eVTOL, right? They got a website here. It's actually pretty cool. It's an interesting design. It doesn't have landing gear. It actually kind of lifts itself up like some sort of aircraft from the future, the way it kind of glides and tilts its nose up and then kind of comes into hover. Pretty cool design.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Really unique. There's some small videos of it flying around on YouTube. I think there's like a 10-minute reaction video of people going up for the first time. It's still in its phase where I think they're starting to take their vision forward about making sales on this thing, but it is quite unique in the way that it does fly, because what it takes the actual cabin and rotates the cabin as well as the nacelles and the wing when it's in flight. And it looks really fluid. However, the designer of it also did note that he did have some very big design challenges at the very onset to get this thing to be actual flying, because he couldn't find the proper motors. He couldn't find lots of components. So we're going to go into this at a later date because there's way, way, way more to go into, because I only found them literally yesterday in what I saw, and it was very quick, and the video was about 2 months old, if I remember, on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, I feel like I may have seen this shape somewhere, but I don't know much about this company, so I can't speak much to this one, to be honest.
Yeah, it's let me see, because
I mean, it says they've done a bunch of testing.
It
looks like obviously single passenger.
It is right now. The video came out.
Let's see.
Oh, you know what? My son was watching videos today, so my history may not show. It's got 1,400 views, and I watched it last night. It came out a month ago. That's when it came out.
A little bit louder than some of the other competitors, supposedly.
Allegedly.
150 feet, AGL 72 decibels, so a little bit louder than some of the other competitors that are claiming like 60, mid 60s.
Right.
At a height of something like that.
So we'll have to check it out. So here's some of the operator specs on it. They got single seat, 200 pounds. That's going to be a limiter. Let's see. Classification weight. Ooh, okay. 343 pounds. That's going to be an issue. Because
that's a what weight?
That's the max empty weight is 343 pounds. And the operating conditions right here, it lists it as 20 miles an hour max wind condition.
Oh man,
that is
non-precipitation, like zero moisture.
Yeah.
Well, not zero moisture, but non-precipitate, rain and stuff.
Yeah, no rain, no frost, no nothing. Climb speed, stall speed is 0.
500 feet per minute. Takeoff and landing around
36 inches. Well, that's the way the way the thing actually climbs.
Right.
500 foot per minute max climb rate. That is also going to be an issue, because
range with the 20% reserve, 25 miles. So
yeah,
What do you? It's a single seat. Yeah. What's the use case for this? What do they?
Air jet ski. That's what this is.
Oh, it's a pure like entertainment
It's
thing.
got to be, because I don't. The unfortunate problem is that I don't see it actually hitting the ability to do anything else, because here's one of the major limitations. If you have a 20-mile-an-hour max wind speed, winds generally in lots of places can reach over 20 miles an hour on the regular.
Yeah, and you're not going anywhere mountainous or anything like that.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere mountainous. You're gonna be limited.
Can't.
With this thing, and the problem is, if you between the V&E and the other things, it's got a very limited appeal. So I can only see this as being appeasing an entertainment market. That is probably where it looks like it could be working on. 80% charge, 25 minutes. Yeah. Amphibious.
8 kilowatt-hour battery pack.
Yeah.
It's
a jet ski. Hey, but you know what? We'll take a look at it more. We'll do a little bit more homework on it. We'll see what more information's out there and what we can get ourselves into it. But interesting, because it's so funny. I saw this late last night and I forgot to share it with Corey. So, and we said opener. I was like, is he talking about Black Fly? And I was like, damn it, I forgot to share it with Corey. So anyhow,
all good.
All good. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. That's all we really got for you tonight. So it was going to be a short show anyhow. And my voice is still killing me, so it's been rough. So we appreciate all the support, all the comments. Hey, do us a favor. If you got other stuff you want to talk about, but you actually want to see us cover it in a show, leave a comment in the description below, because that gives us more time to actually see and say, hey, by the way, so-and-so left this out there. And that way we can do the full treatment. We can spend a couple more hours on doing our research and seeing what we can find out right off the bat. And that'll help us serve you guys better as well. So
yeah,
thank you.
Exactly. Yep.
I am done. Are you done, sir?
I am done. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
To the Double Davids in chat, thank you very much for attending, and we will catch you guys real soon. Take care. Have a great night.
Yep. Thank you. Anybody else in chat? Take care. Stay safe. See you soon.
See ya. I outscreened on you before you had a chance to say goodbye.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, they can still hear me, so
yeah,
it's all
true.
good.
That's true. It'll give them something to talk about.
It's all good.
They can say we had a not so average outro. Wow, below average.
That was a below average outro. Come on, guys.
There it was. And once forever, we are now labeled below average.
The really below average.